Hey there, Joe 200. What's up? So, you guys welcome back from spring break. You should have at least. Today's Tuesday, March 26th, and I'm here to remind you about critical thinking assignment number two. And this is all about investing in your future. It's an easy way to do investing, and you're basically investing in the stock market. There's different ways of looking at it. You do what are called mutual funds, equities. We're going to get into that in the lecture that's going to be coming out this coming Sunday. But without getting the specifics on that, we're just going to look at what happens with your money in critical thinking assignment number two when you invest it, and the concept that you are deferring access to that, and then when you access it later you'll have a lower taxable income, and and your money will go further. Okay. The other concept is just taking your Starbucks money or whatever money, and you just put it away into um, these retirement accounts that are basically stock market investments. And because of this concept of compounding, all right, meaning that you put in $1, it earns a certain amount of interest, like 25 cents, okay? And then the next month, okay, when you look at the, say, 7-8% return on that investment, it's not on, you don't do it again on the dollar, but you do it on $1.25. And then the next month, now it's almost $2 just from that $1 investment. And it just keeps compounding, okay, because the principal grows. And, and then the percent gain, the interest you gain on your investment is going to grow and grow as well. Okay, this all assumes that the stock market is going to do well. We had a hiccup pretty soon with the new regime in the presidency, but it seems to have kind of righted itself. So, all you can do is just believe. Okay, all right. Same thing goes on with other types of investments like real estate and gold or whatever it is, your art, whatever your thing is. All right. So let's just go right in here into um, the content. You can also access this via the activities, remember? All right. So we can look at the assignments right here. And that comes right here. We see we have a critical thinking assignments right there. See, it's due on April 9th. And this is what I'm sending out right now. Okay. You can access that way, and then just click on the hypertext link, or we can go through the content like we have right here, all right, which I'm going to do for you. All right. All right, so just go right in here. And by the way, if I can get this done right now and be helping you right now, then you can get it done on time. I'm not going to have a lot of patience for you guys if you have some excuses. You guys remember, in fact, you can see right here the scar. All right, so I had surgery, fused 3 vertebrae in my neck 5.5 weeks ago, and sadly, because I've been an athlete my whole life and I've abused my body, when I was 35, I was surfing a really, really big Newport Beach and had a massive herniation of the disc between the bones of my lower back. My lumbar was L4, L5, and had it fixed, and it's never really been right. And what happens is down there, then you get the disc and bone disease, like I had in my neck, and believe me, I am not happy, and I'm not doing well psychologically. But it looks like I'm going to have back surgery now. All right, and it's crazy to think about. But anyways, that's my problem. So what I want you guys to think about is your critical thinking assignment. So here's critical thinking assignment one. You guys did great on that. Again, the key with all this is we kind of lay it out really well, and you just follow the rules. Okay, here's an old slide deck if that's what you're going at. This video will be relatively quick and will show you exactly what you need to do. Okay, alrighty. You're going to do is you're going to tell us in the writing what is the difference between a Roth IRA and an IRA. Okay, so the Roth IRA is something you do when you make very little money, like when you're young, and so what happens is you get your paycheck after it's been taxed, but you're only being taxed at maybe 2, 3, 4%, whereas mine's going to be taxed at 30%. Okay, because I make too much money. So then you're not being taxed much. Okay, and then you take that money, you invest it into a Roth IRA, and you look the other way. And then when you access it after you're 55, 60, 65, whatever, and you start, you know, use that money to live on, you don't pay any taxes on it. So that's the beauty of investing when you're young. All right. the IRA is a whole different thing. It's I could do it right now, and so you just take that money out of your monthly income, and it then reduces the amount that gets taxed. Okay, so if I made $57,000 a year, okay, I would put in a maximum of $7,000 every year, and so my federal income tax would not be based on 57; it would be based on 50,000. Okay, does that make sense? So it's a lower amount. Okay, alrighty. So then I have a reduced tax rate. All right. What happens then was when I access that regular IRA when I am 70 years of age, okay, my spending should go down. That's the idea, okay, but I'll pay whatever you pay taxes on whatever you spend. So if I have an IRA account and I have $200,000 in it and I spend $30,000 a year, then I only pay taxes on the 30 that I spent. That's the difference of those two. Okay. Same deal with the 401k. All right. It's taken out of your paycheck. Okay. So it reduces the amount of taxes you pay in that at that moment. So I have money taken on my paycheck this month. Okay. And it grows, okay. And then when I'm retired and I start using that money, however much I spend that year, that's considered like income for that year, and that's the tax rate, okay. That's how that works. All right. So we have these two calculators right here. All right, this is just a slide, so it doesn't have a hypertext link to it, okay? But we have the hypertext links down below. Now, do understand that there are limits. You can't invest unlimited amounts, okay? The federal government is incentivizing it, but there are limits, okay? And when you're looking for a job, it's always good to find out if there is a 401k plan. There is a separate types of similar to 401ks for small business administration or not. Small businesses, family-owned business called SEPA IRAs that have these limits as well. We don't have a chance to get into that. We'll talk about that later. Okay. Alrighty. So you can only put in X amount. All right. There are catch-up funds. Okay, where they incentivize you to put more in. So I can, as an individual, I put this much in every year. Okay, and now that I'm older, I'm piling this on right here. Okay, I'm doing this catch-up. In fact, when we get older, you pile this much on, and then you have the employer match. Luckily for at USC, I put in 5% of my 9 month, that's my guaranteed contract salary, and then USC matches it. Right now, believe it or not, 2 to 1. So it was a great place to work for all these years. During the pandemic, they lowered to 1 to 1. Who knows what the finances, what they're going to do. All right. All right. So, and then these are the limits right here of the regular IRA. Okay. You can only put in 7,000. All right. So you see that right here. All right. So I can put this much and combine 70 grand. Okay. With my employer match. Okay. And if I just do a regular IRA, I can only do 7,000. Then I have these catch-up possibilities, both for the Roth IRA and the IRA. Again, this, like I said, this is very similar to 401k, has this exact limitations, and it's for small businesses. All right. All right. So here's your rubric. All right. 2 examples of an IRA. I'll show you how to do that. Okay. 2 examples of a 401k where you're just going to vary the amounts, and then you'll print out the figures, and I'll show you the figures down below. Okay. We already explained the difference between the IRA and the Roth IRA. Okay. You can explain this concept of the federal limits. Okay. Which we show right here are also in the calculator that you're going to use. Okay. All right. And that's it. So we when we're grading, we're going bing, 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 bing. The rubric is pretty clear. Okay. All right. I'm going to replace this guy right here. All right. So this is obviously spring 2025. And I am in so much pain right now in my lower back. I can't even tell you. Right? We're going to bear it, my friends. Okay. Here's the frequently asked questions. How many charts do I have? 4 charts. Okay. So 2 to 3 pages of writing plus your charts. Okay. Alrighty. So 2 different 401k scenarios and 2 different IRA scenarios. This calculator does not offer up a Roth IRA or a SEPA IRA. Okay. Alrighty. So this is the learning objective right here. I'm not going to go through it. Okay. We're going to change our expectation of return, etc. This is what I would get. Right. So I put this in. Okay. And we see this small amounts initially, and okay, because that reflects again the limits, the federal limits. But what you're seeing here, this is not linear. You see how it exponentially grows, okay? And one is where well, I have just the employee that I'm putting in, okay, right here. So without employer match, and then this was with a marginal employer match. And see, it's greater. But why is it exponential? Again, it's that concept of, if I put in $10 this year, I might next year have it be worth, okay. Let's say I get a 10% return on my investment. All right. So now it's worth $11. Okay. And next year, now I'm going to put in, okay, another $10. Okay. So now my the interest is going to be paid on in my account. Then I'm going to show my gain. Will would be then $21. Okay. All right. So we'll go in. Okay. 10% gain on that. Okay. And then see now it's $21 and almost 30 cents. And so you compound and it grows. All right. All right. So you can show that graph, and then right here, this is the really key thing, because it shows you what it is you did. Here's your balance when you started. This is how many years you invested. This is the rate of your return. Okay, this is what 7% is reasonable for investing in the stock market. Stock market. We use Fidelity. You might use Morgan Stanley, Vanguard, whatever it is. Okay, this is my annual salary. All right, expected salary increase. You can put this all in. Okay, what's my 401k contribution? Okay, what's my employee match? It all good to do. Then it has my total contribution. Okay, right here. What my employer would contribute, and then this is the difference in the two. Okay, without employer match, with employer match for that scenario. Okay. All right, that's how that's done right there. Okay, and then you can put this figure right in here of what you actually did as well. But it's pretty much shown here. But this is the other figure you can put it. These are all just screenshots. Okay. All right, you're going to do that same thing for both. Okay, does that make sense? Awesome. All righty, very cool, very cool, very cool, very cool. Right, where am I right here? All right. No. Okay, hold on a sec. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Okay. I was looking for my hypertext things. Okay, so let's do the 401k. All right. So, all right. So, we're gonna come through here. All right. So here it is, right here. Here's the game plan. Okay. So, I'm gonna get you. Let's say I make, you know, 100 grand a year. That'd be great. How about a 7% return? All right. All right. You can put down here, this is just for grins, but this is gonna, everything is defined. Okay. Right there. Okay. Awesome. It tells you my maximal limit. Okay. Right here. So that reiterates everything. But you can use the scroll bar as well right here. Okay. So my annual salary increase. Okay. Well, how about I get it would be beautiful, wouldn't it be, if we got like a 3% raise? As you read, not at USC this year. There's a no raises and no new hiring. Okay, boom. Okay, and what's my current age? You guys would be 30. I'm going to retirement age at 65. Let's just say this is 0. Okay, and this is the annual rate of return. I think 7% is good, right? So, so there you go. All right. So that's what I'm going to be putting in. I'm going to contribute 7% annually, and I'm going to get this annual rate of return. All right. So this kind of gives you what a feeling what it's going to look like. Again, it starts out really slow. Okay. And this growth is not because of how much you're putting in. This growth is because of the 7% interest. Remember, you have that limit in terms of how much you put in. We already talked about that. Okay, so you can see at the very beginning, it's very, very slow growth, okay, because of the limit that you can put in every year. But then now the principal is growing because whatever interest you make goes back into the principal and it goes exponential, right? Awesome. All right. So it says then view results. And so we're looking at this right here. All right, my friend, goodbye. All right. So that's the very same graph we're looking at. And then down here, it explains everything right here. Okay. My annual rate of return was 7%. My annual salary was 100%. Okay. My 401k contribution was 7,000 per year. Okay. Now remember, with the 401k, I could make that bigger. Right. So we can go back and change that right now. I'm gonna, I'm putting in 23. Why not? Okay. Alrighty, and then in the end, this is how much we have. We see if you have a good company with a great match that I had put in over there before, then you see you double the amount. Okay, all right. So that's the outcome in part one there. All right. So let's go back then to so let me go back. No, let me just go back to the original back to calculator. Sorry. All right, so here we are. Everything's good. Okay, everything's beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right. Um, so it was putting in 7% with my annual increase of 3%. So it was actually putting more than 7,000 in annually. All right. $7,000 right here. So what if I put in my percent contribution as 10? All right. So that way we're gonna get more going into it. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. Just by going from 7 to 10, let's see what happens, okay? This shows you the growth right here, all right? And let's go the results, all right? And it comes down here, and I got even more. So remember last time I was about 3.5, got even more millions, all right? Still doubling, okay? Let's see what happens, okay? You see how you do this. And every step of the way, you're just gonna I'll do Windows key Shift S, and I would just grab this like so, and then I would go like so, and put it into my Word doc, and I would just paste. There it is. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. All right. Okay, let's go back to our fun and games here. All right. All right. God, my back is killing me, my friends. Let's go back to the calculator. Okay. Ready? Awesome. Um, Here's the employer match. So we had this down there. Come on, that's great. All right. So let's I had 100%. Let's say my employer match is, realistically that's not going to happen. So let's say my employer match is actually 25%. All right. All right. Okay. This explains what this is. Okay, the maximum for okay, boom, right? So and then you hit X to get back there. Employer match ends at okay. Your employer can change it, and that's what it's saying right there. Okay, so their match can vary depending on what your income is. My neck is even hurting right now. All right, so I'm going to just say it's just standard 25 and 25. All right, so remember we were like 4 million last time. There, good enough. All right, and actually let's just do that. Why use the toggle? Okay, boom. All right. And survey says already we can see we had 4 million, now we're at 2.5 because my employer didn't match that much. And you see the deviation here between what I put in and the employer match. I got an extra 500 grand, thank you, employer. But, it wasn't like the last time. Okay. And so we can verify that by looking at view results. Same figure, and down here is the income, and we see boom, boom, boom. And again, it explains everything that you did right here, right? Awesome. God, you know what's happening with the nerves being pinched coming out of my spinal cord by my compressed vertebral column that's gone is I have pain in the bottom of my feet right now. I'm miserable, my friends, miserable. So, all right, that's part one. Part two, okay, is the IRA. Same deal, okay, but you just can't put as much money in, all right? And so we come down here, okay, the annual contribution, okay, is 7,000, okay? That's what it says right there, okay? So it tells us, okay, the maximum is 7,000, okay? All right, starting balance is 0, okay? I'm 29 this time. I'm going to go to, I'm 65, let's say, whatever, I'm making 100 grand, so, sorry. Okay, awesome. Do you want to maximize the contributions? Yes. Okay. So what that does is it accounts for the catch-up funds that we talked about in the previous chart. When we come back over here, go back over here. When we looked at this, remember there are catch-up funds right here. So you can this way it automatically maxes this out in the calculator when you get older, just like it did here in the calculator when you got older. Okay. By the time I was 65. My 5% was far exceeding this amount right here. Okay. But then when I was, by the fact I'm 65, I'm able to add this to that. and get it to go in. Okay. And putting in, roughly this amount every year. All right. Here's my IRA. Again, more limitations in this. Okay. All righty. So, we're looking at right here. Okay. Um, this is the IRA account. Okay. A traditional IRA, if you put it, take that money and you put it away and you didn't look at it. Okay. Versus if you put that money, okay, into account. We're going to talk about, you don't have to put it in a retirement account. There's strings attached with retirement accounts. There's penalties if you pull them out too early. If you put it into an account called a brokerage account and you get good interest, you're paying taxes on that the whole time. So you can see right here that, there's, roughly, $200,000 in taxes that you're paying right there. Okay. All right, so that's what this is all about right here. So we're just going to go ahead. Everything looks good. We're going to view the results, okay, just like we did before. So it looks at it again. If it's protected in the IRA, okay, you'll pay taxes on it when you pay it. Or if you were just to invest it on your own and have the good return, you pay more taxes on it, right? That's the whole concept there. So it goes through here, okay, and it shows you the total contributions, okay. And this is my starting balance. Okay. So I put in this much, but I did it for like 35 years. It comes out to about this amount right here. I'm not going to do the math. Okay. But even though this is what I put in, um, this is how much right here that 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 was my gain. So it's substantial. Okay. The anticipated taxable income when I'm older versus a taxable account. You see, you lose a lot of money in the taxable account. I don't think I made that clear, but you guys will figure that out. Here's down here. Okay. So this is the difference between, we see down here, a taxable account's 576 and the IRA was 1.1 million. You can see that right here. Boom, boom. So you pay a lot of taxes on money you invest. You're still, might as well go ahead and invest it. You're still going to get gain, but there's just more taxes on it. If you don't shelter it in this tax deferred retirement account, right? And it goes over everything right in here. Awesome. And it shows you the growth right here, right? So we can see right here. This is my taxable account balance, and you see its growth right here. Boom, boom, boom. This is my IRA balance, and you can compare the two. That all of a sudden this thing starts accelerating. Okay. Um, and yeah, so this is how much you're putting in every year on my taxable account balance. Okay. And all right, so you see the big difference in the end state. That's the whole concept. All right, guys, I think that's it because God, I'm not happy right now. I'm not feeling good. Hopefully this was helpful. Certainly contact if you have any problems, but don't be late, right? Because I'm doing this, you can do it. All right, peace.